We always have a public notice, but I mean, it's not, we don't.
Is it true you have not been keeping a secret from the members, what you have been doing with the funds that have been generated with the private club? Is it true that a great many of those members are fully aware of what you're doing? Is it also possibly that someone that had joined the club but has not been back may not be aware? But there's no secret being kept, and everyone that joins this organization understands that it's a nonprofit corporation.
Chairman, I may be out of line when I say this. Very front end, we talked about a little time, and we pretty well tipped over the bylaws some, but what I'd like to hear from the opposition is why anything that's been, since they've been operating, things that's going on.
Mr. Chairman, we did give the other side about 50 minutes, and Mr. Smith ought to have another 20.
Well, I'd like to hear some, well, you know, the problems are there.
That's right.
My next witness,
Are you?
yes, sir.
You have some rebuttal, or you want? Are you done?
Now, I would like to go ahead and publish these statutes that govern Arkansas nonprofit corporations.
Introduce them and
Yes,
Okay.
and specifically, we have introduced Arkansas ACA 433, 129, 433, 205, 433, 205, 433, 601, 433, 611, 433, 701, 433, 705, 433, 804, 433, 805, 433, 1002, 433, 1003.
So no.
Yes.
There'll be opposition number one. Okay.
Mr. Holmesy, have any of your members advised you in any way, they have objected in any way in the manner in which the private club is being run? All right. Is it your intention to hold annual meeting of the members not later than March 15th or 2018? At the time that you opened for business, is it correct that you did not have 9,000 members then? That you had much less? And how often does the board of directors meet? And the board of directors meet often?
Yes.
And their purpose is it your intention? It's your intention to, in consultation with your attorneys, to operate your private club, your nonprofit private club, in a manner in which would allow the continued existence of this private club? Yes.
You had indicated, as far as becoming a member, he asked who would have to consent to be a member.
Is it not that members apply and the club would have to make a determination whether or not they are a member or not? And you're not required other members to consent to them becoming a member.
That's all I have.
Do you have any additional questions and testimony? The board have any questions?
All those, did you present,
Statutes, I gave them to you earlier.
Oh,
I'm down to my last copy.
no, I'm fine. Yeah, I've got it here. I didn't know that.
I think everybody here knows Bobby, Bobby Hester. We call him Bobby.
Name, is it okay what he's saying?
Well, why don't you say,
Okay, I'm not history.
and where do you live, Mr. Hester?
You were sworn in earlier, correct? Mr. Hester,
Well, yeah, you know, when this application was filed, why did you not raise, or why was the objection not raised at that time?
he objected earlier.
Yeah, I did, they just kept, I forget one of them, don't come up, it just kept postponed. And then the last time,
It was postponed at the request of chief.
You did not object until after the permit was granted. You did not object right then. Why he's asking you is why didn't you object before the permit was granted?
but I guess I didn't know about it.
Did you object as soon as you found out about it?
I found out and got good,
One thing I want to correct is that this matter had been scheduled to be heard in May, and it was continued, I think, at the request of the attorney, and it was going to schedule it in June, and I think it was continued at the request of the attorney.
Okay.
I think we only continued once, is that correct?
That's all right.
Mr. Hester was
My
the
question's been asked and answered. Go ahead.
Mr. Hester, you've got numerous concerns in addition to the points I've raised so far in regards to this permit. Is that correct? Okay. And can you please tell the board what your first objection is?
Oh, pardon? Well,
You have concerns about the parking.
yeah, yes, I did.
Okay. And do you have any documentation here to support your? Are you going to talk about parking or?
I apologize for y'all having put up with me so much. That's Randy Rogers was supposed to be here this morning to do some of this, and he thought that was going to be automatic to the hospital. And so he was taking like this up there, and he was on the case.
I'm going to pass these out as you hand them to me, and I'll let you go ahead and start talking about them while I'm passing them out. The first thing you want to talk about here, Mr. Hester, is 17 pictures that you've taken. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And I will, I promise you, I will.
Does this have to do with the parking?
Yes.
Okay.
Before you go into this, were you aware that he had all this parking under lease?
No, I did not.
Does that change your position?
Well, I'll just give this,
You know, if
no,
And
not
now that you know that he has all this parking, if this isn't a concern.
yeah, this is still a concern. I'll explain.
Okay, explain it to me.
Okay, he may have sufficient parking. I'm not saying he does not at this point.
Oh, thank you.
There's 45 parking spaces. He's doing good business, real good business, and that's more than his parking can handle. And he's got 45 parking spaces there in his parking lot, his building, his front of his building now. But the problem is, many are parking on the front page cafe parking. And they're also crossing over that property, big time. Most of them cross over that property, most of these customers are not there, and then, yeah, this was taken, these people.
Are they crossing illegally? Have they objected to that, Bob?
Well, we have a letter here from the property owner.
They're objecting?
Yeah, well, I'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah.
I'll get to
Not
the
the
street.
street.
No,
This is just parking.
yes, parking lot.
It's not a street.
Well, not one of it, it's got parking spaces.
Okay.
You know, these 17 pictures are taken on July 16th from 7 until 8:30, 7 until 8:30 an hour. And I observed, and these 4 pictures I took, and these people walk across, they're walking to the left, they're walking from Uppercrust Pizza and you walk right towards,
Okay.
in the opposite way they're going into the restaurant. And so there's, just for y'all's sake, that. And then on the, this shows the parking, like what you said, the building there, and, they mentioned parking at the bowling alley. They had a tournament at the bowling alley the other day, and they did not have sufficient parking to even the bowling alley. They was having trouble finding places to park. I don't know if some Uppercrust Pizza people had already parked there, I'm not sure, but I just know that when I was there, they would come in and they were actually, I think some of them, may have parked over on the top of their business next door. And, so they definitely do not have sufficient parking for the amount of customers they have, and they are, most of them go across.
How many parking spaces would you say that needed to be sufficient?
I don't know.
Well, you made the statement they didn't have enough. You need to know how many they need.
More than what they got, that's all I know, because they're parking on, they are parking over on, I mean, on there was, in just 1 hour. See right here, that's all I know, he's 17.
Do you remember what he said?
I think he said that, I don't remember exactly.
He
No,
said,
no,
I think he said 100.
Mr. Hester, have you spoken with Jonesboro traffic engineers and people? Have you talked to any of them about massive problems they're having down there?
Mr. Fuller,
Have you?
Mr. Fuller, I'm gonna call, Gerald Barker, he's back here.
Is it,
He can speak to
he is
that.
the traffic engineer? Or
No, he spoke with them. He
Okay.
spoke with them, and I believe he
That'll
has.
be fine. I'd like to
That's
hear
fine.
that.
We'll bring him up.
I need to hear that.
Yes, sir.
So during this hour, these people walking across here, parked on the, I think about my name, front page, I wanna say front door, the front page cafe. That's what they're doing, they're traveling in between the businesses. And so, but I don't have a clue really how many they would have to have, but I think quite a few more than what they've got.
But,
It's just my opinion, I mean.
but, Bob, what difference does it make where they park, Mr. Hester?
Okay, but just go ahead and read this letter from this guy that reads the best
Well,
thing.
What's your next,
What
what do you got?
These are, letters from opposition, businesses.
These are neighbors around the business?
Well, this property.
Okay.
Yeah, this, the front one is the one I'm gonna reference, but you'll need these others anyway, so.
I don't know, I had some notes here, I just got, there's no complaints from commercial neighbors.
That's what they said.
I know, I just think what I,
Yeah.
in the picture.
This,
This is Richard.
There's the Phillips Investment and Construction Corporation, is the owner of the property that front page.
You need to give a copy of this bill.
Yes.
You need to give a copy of the bill.
Well, hang on a second. Sorry about that. On the property, front page is okay now. And I'll just, I'll
Okay.
let y'all read it. Yes.
Okay.
And the other five letters behind that are other property, or business owners, about that on the property of the business, located near there, not that many businesses there. Are they not?
No, this guy's no longer in the neighborhood.
Well, I'll explain, LJ Bryant, he was, yeah, with Jackson.
I know where LJ is.
Is that the
Yeah,
land
good-
commission?
Good man, real good man. Hope he gets the job. He was in the, Jackson Hewitt, tax preparation service. He he was in the building, like if you're facing the building, the front page, place was in the middle, and he was left. And, he wrote this letter early on, and then he has since moved out. And why he moved out, I'll just let y'all come to that. But I don't know why he moved out, probably should have.
Okay.
So he did that. And then too.
Okay, well, Mr. Holyfield, in regards to this letter from Phillips Investment Construction about the parking at the front page of Fate, I can't read what this fellow's name is on this letter. Anyway, has someone from Phillips contacted you about a problem with parking?
No.
Have they addressed this, Mr. Hester, with the city of Jonesboro?
I don't know. The city here, the individual, and businesses, I don't know.
Oh, no, you?
Well, are they aware of his leases he has for 3 different people?
I don't know how long they've had releases, this has been going on for a while.
Looks like he's specifically complaining about them parking his spots.
And they, like,
Did you seek this letter?
did I see it? No.
How did it get to you?
I did.
Okay, I'll ask you when you get up here. Okay.
What about that Bait Mismo company? Do they have some complaints there in their letter?
I was just concerned about people who displace my parking on the property. They turn around the driveway and swing across the road.
Well, Bob, this guy also references picking up trash going on to his property. Has anybody talked to you about trash?
No, we actually pick up the surrounding areas. We do it every morning. I mean, it's just something we have agreed with Bowling Alley, Cobblestone.
Well, a lot of these letters use the bowling alley pretty loosely in a lot of their letters, that there's going to be a lot more problems with your place because the bowling alley is next door.
Bowling Alley is
Wherever it is.
great friends with it.
The agreements were signed today.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think if the bowling alley didn't want you around, they would not agree to it. Huh.
Well, that's property on
Okay.
What other property owners do you have there? Can you identify all the property owners around there that have problems?
Well, there's 6 total that are in opposition to it.
Do you have a map of the businesses showing where they're located at?
No, I don't. But I can, they're, right down that Shelby Drive, just right behind here, and across over here, on both sides of the street.
In close proximity.
Yeah, yeah.
Couple,
that's-
a few blocks.
Yeah, that's-
Okay. You can bring copies of this?
I didn't know.
I apologize that Mr. Smith didn't make sufficient copies of these, and I'll circulate it through here.
Thanks, sir. Okay.
You want
Can you explain to them where these businesses are located in conjunction with the,
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Which is 1 and 2, well, that's the, parking lot of, Uppercrust PT3. So those buildings would be like this. 5, 6, and 7, and 8, and then there's another we just got, that's not, you know, an opposition.
Number 5 is.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we don't have a, oh, no, that's right, yeah.
So
So that one's wrong, yeah. Number 5.
I want to make, you got on this letter, number 5 is opposed to the application,
No.
when in fact they're for the application. Are there anything else on there that are incorrect?
Who's number 5?
Number 5 is the company, it's
Pommel.
Pommel's own, I got it here, let me make sure I cobblestone and brick, which have leased space to my client for
Yeah,
part
that
of
was,
it.
that was one, they had indicated early on that they would hold it probably, and then they told me
So one of these is gone, the
And-
LJ is
Yeah.
gone, and the other one is near, right?
And to clarify, I had Bobby do this for me, weeks ago in preparation of this.
Things have changed, certain things have changed.
So are you saying that LJ Bryant is no longer?
No, he's no longer there.
He's no longer there. Where does LJ Bryant reside? He's not in Craighead County or Jonesboro. But he is not a resident in that county. And he's no longer has a business located anywhere near this applicant.
Because they still in Jonesboro, but it's, I think it's technical right now.
Right, and then number 5, which you said,
Yeah.
where you have opposed, you're telling us that is incorrect, that they're for this
We've
application.
actually got six letters of opposition.
Mhm.
And don't have all in one, because last one I got on is, I think it's right here, just above 7. I think that's the one that got in there, that's kind of the rest. So we've actually got 6 letters of opposition. Verified on it.
Bobby, some of them don't mention parking.
Pardon?
Some of them don't mention parking.
Some
at all.
opposition?
No, they're just against it. And
What they
then,
mentioned, right?
He was just talking about opposition.
I know, but the way they start off parking.
So what Mr. Evans is
But-
saying is these 6 members, 6 letters don't represent opposition party.
Oh, I guess not. I don't know.
But then they turn around and they keep talking about the bowling alley. The bowling alley must not have no problems with it themselves because of this business.
Well,
We want to flip it a circle.
what I say about that, I know is that the other day, they had tournament and another time on down there, they had tournaments in school, schools coming all across the state. I saw some buses all that. When they do that, there's no parking, they don't got enough parking space to accommodate those. If they do, it's all the close. And so, they, Uppercrust is not gonna have be able to park over there, and what they're doing is every day, parking on face parking lots. And not only that, they're using that parking lot as a street. Now, very few of them come up here, you can park and go down Shelter. And I was down there a couple, 2 or 3 of them, very few of them came down that way. Most of them came, across, just straight across the nearest quickest turn they could turn in. And I actually saw one go all the way around the building and then keep going to the Uppercrust. That's all I'm saying is what I saw, and if they get to
Look, it stands to reason to me now, unless I'm missing something, the Front Page Restaurant is having a problem with people parking on their lot. They do something about it.
you know, I agree.
I wrote a letter.
No, that
Yeah,
No, they
they
didn't
all-
write
they
a
don't-
letter.
You know, with these letters, you gotta
They did
really
not write it.
question the intensity of that opposition in any letter. If they'll send a letter down here, but they're not gonna take the time to come down here, so you gotta really question the intensity of that opposition. I mean, is it lukewarm, or do they really care?
Well, and almost everyone says in these letters, we don't want any more alcohol in our county. We've been up and down that road 100 times because that alcohol that they don't want in their county, that you don't want, is legal.
I'm not trying to convince them.
Is legal. Well, I'm just saying, we have to take these for what they say.
Just move on. We still have, I mean, those letters that saying that
One other
they
question.
had complaints in the letter.
Your opinions about this were reached prior to you understanding that the applicant had all of these other lease spaces. The opinion that there's not adequate parking. Was based
They
on.
may have adequate parking.
Oh,
I
they may
think
have adequate.
They may have, but there's still parking on Uppercrust Beach. And they're not gonna be able to use the bowling alley parking lot any and all time because of a certain time. So,
All right, Bobby, do you have concerns regarding, is there elected officials that are in opposition of this alcohol permit, private club permit?
there are quite a few.
I'd like you to identify each one of them while I'm going around here.
tried to make this simple so that, you know, it makes much sense. We've actually got 21 county officials, or a couple of them city council, that, wrote a letter in opposition to this. State Representative Bush Wilkins, County Judge Bell Hodge, Sheriff Jack McCann, City Council Bell Woods and Darrell Dover, eight justices, one justice peace elect, 8 mayors, I believe that's correct, I hope I got that right. And then, County Judge candidate Mark Hogan, and also Ed Hill, who is a JP, he's county. One of those would be county judge next year, and state representative candidate on the limit. So they,
Well, I get back.
Which is Bono, isn't
he takes in part of John.
he? Is this part of his district?
John Brook.
No, this area.
This particular, well, is that relevant? I mean,
I'm asking the question, Bob. I just asked you. You know, what do you mean is it relevant?
his district comes somewhere along the north side of Cumberland.
Do you know the answer?
Do you know?
You don't know the answer?
Oh, you don't know. What is this?
No,
Is this
no, it
area or
wouldn't be,
not?
no, it wouldn't be.
Okay, that's all I want to know. We have legislators that testify, some of them are in the district, some of them aren't. I mean, it's a valid question. And I know Butch, he's a great guy, very nice fellow. I respect his opinion.
Well, when notice of the application was sent out to these people, why did they not voice their opposition at that time?
Well, not everybody gets a copy of the application.
No.
They may not even know about it.
Well, actually, maybe sometimes it's overlooked. Sometimes I don't even, I try to keep an eye on things, but I don't always get somewhere, so.
Sheriff gets one, chief of police gets one, the mayor and the city council of Jonesboro City got it. But the members of the quorum court necessarily wouldn't got it.
Like Bob said earlier, he generally didn't know about this one. Couldn't tell us too late. What is this here?
This is a league, church league,
These more opposition? Okay. Is this all the same one? Is that the original for them?
yeah, that's right. This right here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll give them that same one. You got Bob, you handed me 2 more exhibits to circulate. Can you identify those?
Well, one of them is youth pastor of the church, and they say, some people feel it's all down on a regular basis. And I'm not sure what he says here, but, concerned about it, alcohol. He is,
Holy.
yeah, church.
How far is Lake City?
Well, on this issue, the people from all over the county, matter of fact, from other counties, that's bowling, they call it bowling, bowling recreations, and they don't like, you can call it bowling out there, but it's, yeah, but people from all over the county and matter of fact, all over the state come to that bowling alley there, so I think they've got a legitimate say on it.
How far is Pocahontas from here?
Pocahontas is the next county.
35.
Okay. No.
In your list here, all right, let me make sure I understand.
Okay.
All the mayors you have in the letter, none of those people are residents, public officials.
No.
Which of these are outside the county?
Outside the county?
Or any of these outside? These are all, but none of them are within
I
Jonesboro.
wouldn't go outside the county.
But none of them are in Jonesboro. The county judge candidate, Mark Hogan, state representative, Mr. Lemon, neither of them are public officials.
Right, they're
Okay, and the justices of peace individuals are, they are just county officials, is that correct? Would it be correct that the only city official that you have in Jonesboro would be City Councilman Renell Woods and City Councilman Darrell Lowe? Everyone else?
Well, the city,
I'm trying to determine which Jonesboro residents, which Jonesboro,
there's an elected official for the Jonesboro city proper, okay, yeah, that was,
You're saying that
yeah, I
those
guess that
names,
would be
those-
right.
that-
I was wondering if Jack,
The-
sure of them.
the mayor and all, and then, how many members of the city council are there, you know?
You know,
Well, that's 12.
12, and so, would we be correct in saying 2 of 12 have written a letter, and the mayor has not written a letter?
no.
Okay, and, the sheriff is naturally a county official. The police chief has not written a letter in opposition. Had any policing officials within the city of Jonesboro objected to this in any way? By writing letters? None, they have not. So these, the great bulk of these are outside the city of Jonesboro and the county. And there's a question as to whether or not State Representative Wilkins, that this, location is within his district or not. You don't know.
Well, it's not in his district. His district goes somewhere along the north side of Jonesboro. This is on the south side.
So you're telling me that State Representative Bush Wilkins is not the state representative for the location for this application that this pending. Is that correct? I think that's what Mr. Ellis is saying.
Butch has District 74, which I was trying to see where that was in here.
North side of town, all I know.
But I may add to what you're saying too. I'm sorry, one could, I may miss one, but it's either 3 or 4 of these letters. They're concerned with the bowling, and I know that
That is correct.
go to bowling alley and sit there, we don't have a problem with at least one space. Which it was, in it says that the notice council agree anytime they want to, and they'll help to go to training.
Well, a lot of people who go to the bowling alley and help people who go, they have a right to be concerned about it too. I think that's what you did there.
But do you know of any incident that's happened that would have caused them to have concern? No incident at all?
Bob, another concern of yours is adequacy of private club permits already in Jonesboro, is that correct? Can you please elaborate on that for me and for the board? Yes.
The map that you're fixing to receive is gonna show, the other, I think 8 other private clubs in relation to this location. And it shows, give the distances, if you look at it, give the distances they are from this. And there are 8 of them within, one furthest away to Village Hill is less than a mile, 9 miles, the rest of them are closer. And so, our contention is, again, I know we've said it before, but we should attend again, or ask a question, all they want to tell us whatever, what constitutes adequacy, that's one thing to be considered by the board, and we contend that there is.
Bobby, why do you feel that it's adequately served at this time?
Well, there's not anybody in Craig County or Jonesboro that's starving for alcohol, and there's plenty of places you can go and get
When you talk about adequacy, are you talking about actual private club permits for serving alcohol? Do you believe that's the basis of it, for adequacy, is the service of alcohol?
Do any of these highlighted locations here, are any of those hotels, restaurants, clubs, pizza places that you're not?
My knowledge, I don't see the relevance of that, because there's only one type of private club, permit that it can be granted in Dry County, and that's a private club, and so they're all private clubs, so they're all the same
But if you wanted to eat pizza and drink a beer, well,
Is it voters' responsibility to provide a place for every kind of cuisine that is out there? I mean, this could go on forever, couldn't it? Everybody's come down here is different, one say it's fish, and the others Louisiana cuisine, like the Greek House, and Old Charlie's, theirs was different, everyone.
sure, each one of us will be different. Yeah.
Chairman Powell, can you please elaborate to us what,
No,
what
I'm not going to.
board's
Don't have any
definition of
intentions of that.
adequacy is?
Don't have any intentions of that. Look at each one of these individuals and make that decision at that time. But I don't have any intentions of sitting up here and trying to define adequacy.
Mr. Hester, can I ask you a question? You've heard my client testify, other than providing food service for its members and guests, all of the other nonprofit purposes which is expressed, which are helping the church behind CASA, the scholarship program, all of the other things that he testified to. Do you have any idea of what the nonprofit purposes of these organizations are, and whether or not they're conflict in any way with what he is providing? So he may be providing something that these individuals are not providing. Is it possible that you don't know? Don't know. So you don't know whether or not the service that he is providing is distinctive in any way.
Mr. Hester, could these organizations provide these benefits and associations with these different organizations without serving alcohol?
I don't think we're not. Yeah, absolutely. I give it myself.
Is there a requirement that CASA be involved in order to a beer or drink be served in order to donate to CASA or participate in CASA?
But you do not know how important each one of these organizations, their alcoholic beverage permit is in generating the revenue which allows them to participate in the nonprofit corporation. You do not know their financial records at all. You don't know whether or not, if they didn't have liquor, they could, or one way or the other.
Any other comments you want to make regarding adequacy? Chairman Powell, I would like to know, because adequacy was one of the determining factors in the El Chico and O'Charlie situation. What distinguishes this case from the O'Charlie's and the El Chico case?
I don't know, I don't recall either one.
Yeah, that's right. Chairman Fuller, or Mr. Fuller, I believe, chairman at the time. Is there any distinction here, Mr. Fuller, for that one?
Well, the distinction is every one of these is different, and the board, the director first, and then the board has to make an individual decision on what they think about that. I don't know how else to answer.
Mr. Chairman, I have a case that I'd like to circulate to the a case that I would like to circulate that I believe there's a lot of similarities to this permit. It's Phillips versus ABC. It was 2005 ARC appellate 663. It's a 2005 case, and I believe there's a whole lot of similarities regarding the setup of the nonprofit corporation and or the lack thereof of meeting the requirements. And in fact, the board was reversed in this decision. And remanded.
The remand
is not, was this at,
Was it a reversal or a remand?
Reversed and remanded.
Well,
this is from, is this Josie's at the lockout?
No.
No, which is this? I don't know. Jay Shell, Josie's at the lockout. Maybe it's another. I didn't do either one of these. No. I'm not familiar with it. I believe it is.
When we reheard the evidence, Michelle put on a good case, we made a decision and it's been upheld by the Supreme Court.
Actually, the second decision that the board made was to not appeal. It's the only appeal right here.
Are you and Mr. Shell related?
No, sir.
All right. So noted that you've introduced this, you will expand on it any further, or?
Just, I believe that, this nonprofit corporation has failed to adhere by their bylaws that they have and their attorneys have drafted, in which they are supposed to follow and adhere by. Their bylaws clearly state that that meetings of the members will be held every March 15th, which they clearly did not do, and which they testified that they did not do. The members that they have, they stated that they do have members, however, that they have stated numerous times that their members had not participated in this business really in any fashion. That the board of directors meet annually, which I believe 3 people, and maybe some key employees. But other than that, there's no real private club in existence here. Just a pizza joint that serving alcohol that has identified a couple of organizations that at least the board of directors, I guess, want to be involved in. But nothing showing that the members actually participate or involved with. According to this case, and according to the Arkansas Code and the Arkansas statutes, for a nonprofit corporation to exist in Arkansas, they have to adhere by the statutes, and they have to be governed by their bylaws. They have not done that here. There's been no compliance with the Arkansas Code and or the nonprofit corporation statutes.
Are you just saying just because they possibly didn't meet the annual meeting on the day of this election? They did have an annual meeting.
No, that they did not have a meeting, which is the key foundation of a corporation is to have your meetings and for your members to participate. There should have been a meeting on March 15th for this business in which they elected their board of directors and their officers. They did not do that. They were obligated per their bylaws to do that. So they have failed to comply with their own bylaws that they have created and said that they were going to operate by, making this private club a non-complying nonprofit corporation.
Good truth, your witnesses on that one. I mean, we're through, but not going to make a statement if we were.
Well,
I thought that was my question. Yeah. Obviously, the applicant.
Well, let me ask a question before we
Okay.
do something.
All right.
I think our primary charge is section 5.14 as it relates to this private club. And do they meet those hurdles there in 5.14? And I think, and correct me now, Counselor, if I'm wrong.
you got 2 things here. You got Arkansas Code annotated 3-9-222 sub F. You've got to determine that the applicant is qualified. That's the nonprofit corporation. You've got to determine that the applicant is qualified. That's what you failed to do in this case that he just handed you.
That's correct.
Well, we're going to take care of that today because you guys are going to make a finding one way or another.
Okay.
because I'm not leaving until you do.
I understand. Right.
But
But
here's Mr. Clark.
the issues relating to the memberships and meeting and so forth, does that not fall under 523 as internal matters that are really to be addressed outside of this commission and this board?
You know, that's kind of where I was coming from, and, you know, Mr. Smith disagrees with me, so, you know, we can let, if they take this up, we can, you know, let the board
Okay.
take a look at that. But I do want the board, if the board sees fit to grant this permit, to make a finding that they got 100 members, they got this, they got that. We go all the way down that one at a time if we need to. We might.
And I would like to stress that is, in order for them to be in good standing, their members to be in good standing, their members have to participate in this nonprofit corporation. March 15th, they failed to do that, making their members not in compliance. You gotta have members in good standing. That is a key to any private club.
Are you talking about March 15th?
2010.
2010?
They were supposed to have a March 15th, 2010 meeting of the members to elect the board directors, the officers, in any other business that they decided to hold, and notify their members they were going to conduct on that day.
Okay.
When they failed to do that, the nonprofit corporation, the private club, was no longer in compliance with the bylaws. All the members were no longer in good standing.
And you think that is an issue that needs to be decided by this board?
Yes, it has to be decided. The members have to be in good standing.
The members are always in good standing. They have become members. There's nothing in the bylaws that indicate once I become a member of a club, the only way I'm not going to be a member is if I resign or if I'm expelled. And so the other thing is that this nonprofit corporation has is in good standing with the Secretary of State. And that members would be the only people that have a standing to challenge whether or not we have actually complied with the bylaws or complied with the articles of incorporation. As the chairman correctly points out, that is not within the purview of the ABC board. So soon as I think the regulation you pointed out, that if there is an issue as to whether or not the officers and directors and members or some member believes that the nonprofit corporation is not being run pursuant to the regulation, that is for them to bring up. Right, we have met every requirement that the ABC has established in this regulation.
The election of officers was done.
The election of officers.
That's not annual.
No, the election of officers occurred in September. Officers pursuant to the bylaws and directors, and the directors were elected in September, and they will serve until their successors have been elected.
That goes completely against the amended bylaws that they presented to this board today, which states in two different places. One, that the board of directors will be elected by the members March 15th of every year. They have testified that did not occur. Mr. Ellis, if you'll look at the information that they handed us originally. Mr. Ellis, what I'm referring to is the amended bylaws that they have submitted today.
There was a meeting of the members in September, members of the existing members at that time. There has not been a meeting for March 15th of last year. There will be a meeting, but we are stating that the failure to have that meeting does not all of a sudden cause this charter to cannot be a nonprofit charter as it relates to the Arkansas Secretary of State. So that's what they can do, challenge whether or not we're no longer a nonprofit. The Secretary of State could challenge that.
And they might do so
They
by
might.
writing you a letter and spanking
That's-
your
that's-
hand for not having a
As a
meeting.
matter of fact, you know.
That's what they did.
But if you fail to have a meeting, the officers are not, the officers and directors do not go away. Yeah.
I have a question from this gentleman over here, applicant, you, the applicant. Have you renewed your permit this year?
Yes.
Who renewed it? Did you do it? Did your wife do it?
No, I
Did
did.
somebody else do it? Did you not submit with your application a certificate from the Secretary of State's office that you're in good, that your corporation, that your nonprofit corporation is in good standing? It is not in this file. I've gone to ask my secretary to go look for it. We've got so many applications in here, we're running behind, it's not in here. That's number one. Number two, Arkansas Code Annotated 4-33-701, 4-33-701, sub F. The failure to hold an annual or regular meeting at a time stated in or fixed in accordance with the corporation's bylaws does not affect the validity of any corporate action. So I got to disagree with my friend Paul on that.
As far as the validity of the nonprofit corporation itself, however, for purposes of being a nonprofit corporation and a holder of a private club permit, they must act in accordance with their bylaws, and they must hold their elections pursuant to their bylaws. And they have failed to do both of those. And I believe that their members' lack of participation affects the validity of this nonprofit corporation, and this private club permit.
Yeah, but you quoted that from the Arkansas Nonprofit Corporation section.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure I have anything more to say. I've just heard everything I have to say. We think that under the regulations and statutes of the state of Arkansas, we have fully complied as a nonprofit corporation, and we would hope that this.
Well, wait a minute, I'm not sure he's done with it.
I thought you.
701, annual and regular meetings clearly states, subsection A, a corporation with members, which this is, shall hold a membership meeting annually at a time stated in or affixed in accordance with the bylaws. They have already stated they failed to do that. B says a corporation with members, that goes on about the bylaws. They failed to comply with their bylaws.
In your opinion, as our attorney here, in your opinion, we're basically here, I thought, we're reviewing whether we would grant or deny our liquor licenses, okay? When it comes down to this whole good standing of a 501c3 or not, is that really to be addressed at the ABC level, or does that need to be addressed at the Secretary of State's office? In your opinion?
I don't think whether or not this nonprofit corporation is in good standing with the Secretary of State's office right now that's not something that is your business.
Right, that's what I
What is your business is this. You have to determine here today whether or not this application is number one in the public interest, but you've also got to find out whether the application is a qualified nonprofit corporation organized and existing under the laws of the state of Arkansas. It has 100 members, that has a lease, and that's where the board has gotten into problems on other cases, such as the one that Paul just introduced. This is from the Josie's at the Lock House case. And basically, here's what the court has to say. In its decision, the board, that's y'all, expressly found that, quote, as far as the application is concerned, the board finds that the paperwork is in line with agency requirements. That's all you said. You didn't really say anything. You didn't talk about the lease. You didn't talk about 100 members. You didn't talk about it being filed with the Secretary of State's office, et cetera, et cetera. What the court is saying is here is you've got to give us more than, well, our lawyer, Don Bennett, says this is okay, so it's okay with us. And you got to go beyond that. Val and I talked about that. He understands what we're doing. But as far as whether or not this is in good standing, you know, as far as of July 30th, 2009, the corporation was in good standing with the Secretary of State's office. You got it right here.
And that's what Mr. Clark states, that any of his clients in good standing with the Secretary of State's office.
Pardon me?
Mr. Clark states that his clients in good standing with the Secretary of State's office.
Until the Secretary of State tells us
Says
otherwise.
otherwise.
Until there's a lawsuit filed by somebody that tells us otherwise.
And Mr. Silverton, if I may address your concern on good standing. In Arkansas, if you pay your franchise taxes and maintain your taxes to the state of Arkansas, then you maintain your good standing requirements. That's all that they're looking at. What I am pointing out to the board today is flaws with their operation and their compliance with the bylaws, which I believe the board does have to look at. And the participation of the members. When they say that they're going to have a meeting on March 15th of every year to elect their officers and elect their board of directors, and then there's evidence today that they're not doing that, and that the members are not participating in the operation and following their own bylaws that they've created, I believe that has to create some concern with this board.
I wanted to introduce this from Secretary of State Charlie Daniels' office annual